I love sex. So there's no way I'm waiting.
Modern dating is complicated, but honest conversations shouldn't be. Welcome to Beyond the Profile. Swipe less, connect more. Hi, I'm Tonya Buford, your host for Beyond the Profile, Swipe Less, Connect More. You're watching the first episode of our playlist series, Understanding Men, the things women need to know but are seldom explained. In this playlist, we're having honest conversation about how men think, what men value, and the things many women say men rarely explain. In episode 1, we tackle a question that comes up all the time in dating and relationships. What do men really want in a woman? Let's get into the conversation. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and turning on your notifications so you won't miss any future episodes. Stay tuned to the end where I do my recap.
I want my panels to introduce themselves and also tell me who you are beyond the profile. And before you answer, I am behind the profile, a very passionate woman who want to see us win, who want to see us in healthy relationships. And by doing that, that's why I decide to do this podcast. So I'm going to start here with Miss Rochelle. Please just introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about you and then also who you are behind the profile.
Awesome. Thank you for that introduction.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rochelle Renee. I'm the creator and founder of the Single Mingle DMV. I have a platform where I bring singles together to mingle monthly. We also have an online platform where we mingle in between our in-person events. I also do some matchmaking and completed 5 marriages last year.
That's awesome.
So, thank you. So definitely have my pulse on the dating community here in the DMV. Also do events in Baltimore and New York.
That's beautiful. And who are you? That's who you are behind the scenes, beyond the profile?
Yeah, I think behind the profile, I am an innovator, a person that really likes to bring people together, curate events, and just someone that likes a little bit of fashion and a lot of fun.
You look great. Thank you so much for being here. Mary Jo!
Yes. Hi, I'm Mary Jo. I'm the creator of Date Dr. DC. And twice a year, we do a live dating show at Howard Theater. We're doing another show July 18th, so save the date for that, where we pair 6 guys and 6 gals sight unseen with each other on stage, and the audience gets to vote. So that's kind of my claim to fame. So similar to Rochelle, have a pulse on the dating community and have seen some things, have learned some things through my own dating situation. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay. And that's who you are behind the profile.
Behind the profile, I'm very much a lover girl. I love love. I want everyone to be in love. I think the world would be a better place if everyone had their person, found their person. So I think these communities are so important because we're so much more than a couple of pictures on a dating app, right? The human experience is rich and it's hard to get to that with just words on a screen.
Thank you. That was really nice.
Yes.
And Mr. Kevin, for you.
Hello, and hello, everyone. I'm Kevin, and I'm currently employed by the Department of Homeland Security, and I've been in the area now for about 6 years or so. I'm originally from Mississippi.
Okay.
And so, I'm a long way from home. But I'm also an Army veteran. That's part of the story of how I got here. But so I'm just here to really kind of see what I can do to kind of offer my 2 cents in terms of this conversation. And that's kind of in line with me behind the profile in terms of what can I do to kind of give back and help.
Yeah.
And so that's one of my projects that I'm actually looking into right now and is trying to find affordable housing for individuals great. And some of the nonprofits that may be involved with that. So, again, it's just one of those things I appreciate the opportunity of doing. And, that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Miss Angel.
Hello. I am Angel Brathwaite, aka Dr. B.
and I am a clinical therapist. I have a private practice called Skin Folk Therapy that specifically is geared toward the Black and Brown population to help with the stigma of therapy. I specialize in trauma and relationships, and I'm a certified sex therapist. So trying to make sure that not only are we healing, but we're having some fun while we're healing.
Right.
So
Love fun.
Yes, absolutely. And as of right now, I'm licensed in about 7 different states. So I take people everywhere via telehealth and in person.
Nice.
And just really trying to get out there that therapy is okay for everyone. And you can have religion and therapy. You can have spirituality and therapy. You can have Jesus in therapy. Like, it's not something that you have to choose.
Exactly.
It's something that you can do all together.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
yes, thank you.
Well, last but not least, Mr. Lorenzo.
Hey, everybody. Hey. Lorenzo from Norfolk, Virginia. So you might hear some country slang.
That's okay. We all country. A little bit of country.
Work in education. Been doing this since I was 21. I taught my brother, so that's crazy.
Oh, wow.
About me, just like to have fun, life experiences, laughter, love, and fitness enthusiast. And dog dad, so I got a little dog at home. So
That's sweet. That's beautiful.
Off camera, just a lover, fighter, and just living a dream, waking up every day. So yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. We love that, pets. Everyone loves pets. So since that's the icebreaker. We all talked about who we are beyond the profile. So I'm going to ask the ladies first, even though this segment is about what men really want. What we want to do is show what we think men want, and then I want the men to kind of clarify that or necessarily give us the insight that we may be missing. So the first question, and any one of you guys can answer, ladies, from your perspective, what are men truly looking for in a girlfriend or wife?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I can start.
Yeah.
Yes. So working in a dating community, I talk to a lot of guys, particularly in person, and I just want to put out there's a huge disparity on what's going on social media and what's going on in real life.
Yes.
So I think when people are looking at social media, there's a perception that men maybe want women with BBLs, or they want, women, just that sort of sexy vixen, When you start to really talk to men, men actually want a girlfriend with the qualities to bring them some peace. That's a huge thing. Men want to feel also chosen. Not always doing the chasing. That's another big conception or misconception where a lot of people feel that men should be sort of running after women. They want to know that you love them too. They want to feel chosen too. They want to feel secure. Men really don't want to go home to, what I call sort of a gambling machine, right? Where they just are putting in a coin and trying to figure out what's going to come out. They want to have consistency, peace, and feel welcomed.
That's beautiful. Okay, I love that. Mary Jo, you had a comment?
I think that's a really great answer for evolved men. I think in my dating experience, I've seen that men are visual creatures, and they do want a woman that fits that physical need that they have. And everyone should be sexually attracted to their partner, which is fine. But it takes an evolved man, usually a therapized man, usually a man who knows his self-worth, to want those qualities that you were talking about, like a woman that challenges them, a woman that keeps them accountable, a woman that brings them peace. And often you're not going to get, I think it's very difficult to get both, where you're getting the sexy vixen and the calm, steady woman. And I think men kind of have trouble with that disparity. And it's like I said, it takes a evolved man to want those qualities in a woman.
That's great.
Yeah. So I want to agree with both of them. I think we're seeing, especially the clients that I see in therapy, we're seeing two different sides. And like Rochelle said, the peace is definitely something that they want. They want the peace. They want the safe space. And what comes with that safe space is that understanding for them to let their guard down, to be that sensitive, to be that emotional person that, like you said, the contradiction of social media is saying no, they actually want that safe space. But then on the other hand, sometimes that safe space gets too safe. and you turn into a mom instead of a partner. So when men are saying what they want, a lot of women are hearing mom. They're not hearing partner. So that safe space can become too safe where you're now taking care of your partner. And for some men, they can't see the difference. So when you're saying, I want this, I want this, I want this, a lot of times the woman is hearing, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. So it's hard because you want your man to be safe. You want them to come home with that peace, but at the same time, you don't want it to interrupt your peace.
Yes. So that's great. Oh, that's great. Okay. Got the men on the panel. It's your time to shine. Like, we want to hear,
This was really just kind of interesting for me to hear, from their perspective as well. I'm going to speak for myself.
Yes.
I'll be 53 years old in July. And as far as I'm concerned, I have a real short list as far as what I would need for you to come into the door with as a woman. And that's just, are you attractive? Do I find you attractive? That's number one.
Yes.
Number two is, are you pleasant to be around? Do you have a sense of humor? Are you intelligent? Some of those basic, kinds of things. And then we can kind of go from there to see if we are a match. Maybe you like board games or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
But those little details that really make a connection, what it is. And so as far as I'm concerned, if you're bringing those couple of little things to the table, we can really have a conversation and see, what we can work out. And so, I'll just start with that in terms of, that's what I would be looking for at this point in my life. I got my mind together. I'm all aligned. Everything's good to go, and I'm on my life's mission. I'm out here doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so if I have someone that I find and I come across that's willing to kind of align with that and kind of get on that program with me, then let's talk about it.
Yeah. Do you think, though, I'm sorry, I definitely want to hear your point as well. Do you think because you are of a certain age, you've matured, like, was those some of the qualities that you wanted when you were younger?
So I didn't really think it all the way through in terms of what I would want from a wife. When I was, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I was just starting on my journey. I was just getting everything together.
Okay.
And so that wasn't, the highest thing on my list at that time.
Yeah.
And so as time went on and, I've kind of worked myself to the point that I am in life now I have a real clear picture, of not only myself, but what I would expect someone, to bring to me that we can work with together. And so, it's it has evolved a lot over the time.
Yeah. Lorenzo, what you got?
First of all, what's your birthday, man?
July 2nd.
July 7th.
Yes.
Wow. July 6th.
Oh, wow.
Cancer's
Wow.
So, speaking through my own experience, I'm simple. I want playtime. I want peace and pancakes. That's all I want.
Pancakes. Simple man.
Playtime, peace, and pancakes. That's all I want. But talking about what the lady just said, it takes a mature man to understand, his emotion. A lot of women say, I want a man with emotional intelligence. I'm like, what does that mean exactly, emotional intelligence? But, to recognizing your emotions, when you you feel that fire in you, sometimes you got to back up, whatever, you got to communicate. But, about the alignment, just making sure that, we're on the right standards. You know what you want. I know what I want. I know who I am. You know who you are. So just make sure we connect, in all levels, the spiritual level, the physical level, and just a chill level, travel and everything like that. So being simple, I know what I'm looking for. Question is, are you what I'm looking for? And am I what you looking for? Is that people make it hard than what it is. I mean, 1 + 1 = 2, not 5, 6. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people make it difficult than what it is, especially because of social media.
Yeah.
That's because people lie.
Yeah.
Like, we come in and a person says, hey, I'm looking for this. And because you're attracted to that person, you say, me too. And that's not really what you want. But you're trying to fit that mold, hoping later on you can be you. So I agree. We make it more complicated, but people lie. That's what I mean, we've all seen it within our relationships, our friends. But in therapy, like I literally had people say, well, that's how I felt in the beginning. No, that's what you lied about in the beginning.
Wow. She hitting below the belt. She said, that's what you lied about. You
It's
know.
still a mask, though, because when you meet somebody, everybody got a mask to put on.
Yeah.
But,
true.
I understand you got to put on that mask, but, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Let's take a little bit of that mask off.
You meet the representatives.
Yeah,
then
we say it all the time.
But the person is built from social media. It's what they hear. It's what they see. It's in the music that they listen to.
Absolutely.
And that starts to define what they think that they want. The perception of dating on social media has just become sort of just this fictitious environment.
Relationship goals.
And when you get into real life experiences, you really do realize that that's not really what people want, And at some point, I think you pointed out, it becomes what you need, rather than what you want.
And it's hard to keep that up. And that's where, like, you see these blow-ups where, all these crash outs, as, people like to call them, most of the time because people are exhausted of trying to keep up.
The facade.
Of what they think it is. I always say, like you said, presentation absolutely matters on social media. So if you have a guy on social media and he's the picture is like this $100,000 car and he has money. And then the women are like, oh, I want you or whatever. And they're like, no, you're a gold digger. Your perception was this car and money. How are you mad at me for wanting the perception that you gave? So when you don't live up to what you are presenting, that crash is going to come harder and faster than what we think. So we play this game, man.
I got a juicy one though. Would you, and this is to the men, would you seriously commit to a woman who's waiting until marriage to have sex?
Ooh.
I mean, I got to test drive the car.
Okay. Don't call us cars.
I mean, I'm just metaphorically speaking. But I mean, it's kind of hard to sign up for something long term if I don't,
right.
So, and I tasted a
Kevin
little
like,
bit.
You really got to ask. He looking at like, yeah.
In 2026, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not unless, we're both, in the temple, or we're both in the masjid, or we're both in some kind of, religious. No, absolutely not. But, if you're paying for the dates, if you are, taking me out on trips, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I was like, where is he going with this?
I'm kidding. No. I don't think it's reasonable under most, situations that, as grown adults, and as far along as I am in life right now, that, I'm going to wait. And if we're on that subject, are we talking about, are we waiting for a virgin? Are we waiting, is that what we're waiting on? Because did everyone wait before me? That's,
Yeah.
So, if you've been married twice, both of those people have to, wait as well. I just want to be treated fairly, just like everyone else.
Right.
And so, that's it for me.
That's valid. Ladies, do y'all have anything to say to that?
Yeah, I think that's a huge thing. I think once a woman has some experience behind her, she has new standards. And so some of those standards are making a man wait, and that's a huge thing lately where women will say, I'm not going to go out with a guy if he does that. It becomes very transactional. But where sex is concerned, in terms of waiting, I think that a lot of people are looking for this committed relationship. And I think it depends on where that relationship is, whether a woman's willing to do that. Personally, I'm with him. I'm not going to wait until 2026.
She's like, no, we're not doing
that. Because after you've had relationship and life experience behind you, you know the things that you want to experience before you can fully commit to someone. And as you brought up, attractiveness and, you're a sex therapist, that's a huge part of relationships.
It is. The two main reasons that people come to me is, in their relationships is because of sex and finances. These are the two main things that I see constantly. And I agree. I think sex is very important in a relationship, and you should absolutely know if you're compatible sexually before you take that dive, because it can absolutely make or break a relationship. I have women who have waited before marriage, and they tell me, like, I was taught to wait before marriage and to give everything to my husband. And they think they are about to let their freak flag fly when they get with their husband. They're like, yes, we can do everything. And the husband is like, no, you're my wife. We don't do that.
Oh, wow.
We have this Madonna complex that's going on where it's like, if you were a girlfriend or just a random, we can do anything. But as my wife, we can't do that. So now you have a woman, the wife, she's not pleased sexually.
Right.
Or you have the man that says, my wife won't do this, she won't do that, she won't do this.
Right.
And I'm like, well, did you guys have sex before marriage? Did you talk about it? No, we were waiting. And this is what you were waiting for.
That's deep. Anybody else have a take on it?
I love sex. So there's no way. There's no way I'm waiting. That's crazy. We talked about this earlier. That's like one of the beautiful things about having a partner that you trust, is to be able to, explore each other sexually. And I think it adds trust to the partnership, and it adds so many more layers. So yeah, that I could never be with a virgin. I could never. Yeah, that's sex is very important in my life.
Okay, well, there you go. There you have it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, and this is for women first, how much do you think men care about our careers or our income?
Ooh.
And I know that's a real thing nowadays.
If you asked me this 5 years ago, I'd probably say 0. Now, in today's economy, I do think I do think that they care. I think when you ask men what qualities that they want in a woman, it is an ability to, help with the household, run the household. There is one of a working woman where, they want someone to be able to contribute. Do I think that it's high on the food chain? Absolutely not.
Okay.
When it comes to degrees, when it comes to salaries, when it comes to, just some of those material assets you bring. But I do think that men do care, to a certain extent. I do.
I would disagree. I think, again, back to the men being very visual, the DMV is some of the most educated women I've ever come across. And they're successful, and they have all of these amazing qualities, and they're not finding a partner. And I don't think it's because they're not a catch. I think there are so many incredible women I've come across. I think it's because they're not marketing themselves in the dating field as feminine. And I hate to, we need to dive into our feminine and masculine energies. And the economy is rough out here. We need to have a well-paying job and health insurance and all the basic needs. But I think at the end of the day, men really don't give a shit about that. That's just what I have perceived in my
I'm gonna jump
dating
to Kevin
experience.
because I'm looking at Kevin. And Kevin's got a face.
I have to agree with her. I mean, in terms of you being a functional adult, okay, once you've kind of met that bar that you can actually go about and conduct your own business, whether you earn $50K, $100K, $200, it's not really that important because I don't expect you to spend that money on me. I'm not really looking for that.
A man.
I'm out here getting my own.
I was getting ready to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, but in terms of what I'm looking for that, that could actually help me, it's not the highest thing on the list, whatsoever.
Right.
So I think it depends on. I think it depends on where you are. Like you said, I think DC is a lot different. So there's a couple things that I want to point out. One, in the majority of marriages now, especially with Black and brown women are out earning their husbands 1 to 4. The women are the breadwinners. They do hold more of the financial responsibility. I say that to point out that depending on your circle depends on if that means anything. So if you look at a DC circle, and I'm sounding elitist right now, so please excuse me, it does matter because a lot of people do not want the persona that their wife is better than them. So when you want someone equal but not better. So I think it depends on the circle. At some point where, we're just saying like, hey, it doesn't matter. We're both working a 9 to 5. I make 50,000, she makes 60,000. Nobody really cares. Mm-hmm. But when you get to the point where you are making 60,000 and your wife is making 160,000, I do believe they care. I think it's a different idea of what that looks like, because in the world that we live in, the authority has shifted.
Yes.
That's great.
You are
that's
now.
Great. But you can't sell me on something that I didn't ask for. So if you can out-earn me, and that'd be greatly appreciated. If we're like married, we're a couple, we're career people, that's, the roles that we're playing. But when we're talking about, I'm coming to the market and I'm saying, this is what I want in a partner, this is what I'm looking for. All those circles aside, that you have these people who are, well-cultured, and they have lots of income. That's great. But as far as what I'm going to ask for, and what I'm going to, look for in terms of a woman that's going to be somebody that I would enjoy coming home to, it's going to be that person that's not stressed out, that's not in charge of 100 people every day at work, unless you can really flip that switch and switch that role, that you're going to come home and just be real chill and relaxed. Because, I get a little uptight just going about the day and getting things done. If you're in that same space, you're trying to go out here and conquer just like the way I am, it's going to be harder, I think, for you to just kind of fall back and just be real chill and relaxed and just be there for me.
And I think we're saying the same thing, because my high-powered job in charge of 400 therapists, I'm not going to come home to the piece that you want.
Right.
But if my partner, who is an attorney, who is doing the same thing with 400 other lawyers, we're coming home with the same energy. And it matches. So I can't come home to someone who does not understand what I am dealing with. And if the expectation is for me to turn it off as soon as I get home, you're supposed to be my piece as well. Where do I get to unload? Where do I get to say, babe, this was rough, or you know how this feels, or this is going on? So that's why I think it matters. And I don't mean that in any type of shade way. I think it matters is to, like you said, how are we coming home after this? What does this look like? Then you have relationships where the person who has the money does hold more of the power.
Right.
So are you okay with that? So we have to ask each other these questions. And I know 50-50 is a whole other conversation. Yes, but, when we talk about stuff like that, when we talk about employment, we're looking at things like financial abuse. We are looking at things like emotional abuse. Because if that partner, that person loves to throw that in your face, that's a problem. So I think they care, and I think it matters, but I do believe that if the woman is the higher earner or the more successful earner, that's where it matters the most.
Hi, I'm Tonya Buford with Beyond the Profile, Swipe Less, Connect More. Today, we discuss what men really want. This is part of our 4-part episode playlist, Understanding Men, What Women Need to Know, but Seldom Explained. Thank you for watching. Tonya Buford with Beyond the Profile. So she got all those qualities that you mentioned, but the sex is horrible. Are you still staying?
No.
Okay. That conversation was so good that we had to split it in two. Part 2 is either up right now or dropping next week. Make sure you watch.